Um, Mustafa, Professor
Yes,
Mustafa. Great.
yes,
Just had a request because I think somebody said that this will be live on the social media platform. Is it live on Facebook?
Sir, it is
Facebook and
live on
YouTube.
YouTube. Sir, it
Okay,
is
it's
live on
live on
YouTube.
YouTube. Can you kindly share the link with me because I wanted to send it to some friends of mine,
Sir,
if you
we will
don't
send you now.
mind?
We will send you now.
Okay.
On the chat,
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
on the chat itself, we will send.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Manash.
Good morning, Professor
Yeah.
Kamal and Professor Islam. Nice meeting
Good
you.
morning. Yeah,
Very good morning. Good
good
morning.
morning to
Yeah.
you too.
Professor
Thank you.
Kuntal is here. Do you know
Ah,
Good
Professor Kuntal?
morning. Good
good
morning.
morning. Good morning. Great, great. All are known face to me. So good morning to everyone.
Good morning, madam. Madam is here, I think. Yeah.
Good morning. Very good morning to all academicians.
Good morning, ma'am. Morning.
So how is there everything in Bangladesh?
Yeah, everything is fine, madam. Now the weather is getting better.
Mm-hmm.
So between spring and the winter, so it's very pleasant weather now.
Okay, very nice. Today in Delhi also, we are a bit relieved from chilly winds. So weather is
Okay.
quite good. So you can see me in half, half coat. 2 days back it was very cold. So we were in full coat and all woolens.
So all the speakers are here, madam. Professor Nazrul Islam, who is the Pro-Vice Chancellor of Northern University of Bangladesh, and Dr. Manash Panigahi from Simca, you may know him already, and Dr. Kuntal De. So all the speakers are here. So we can then start at 12
Very good
o'clock
morning,
Bangladesh
Professor
time.
Sharma.
Very good morning. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah, me too.
Sir, Sabha, we can start now. And this program is already participants from Bangladesh and India. Many of the participants already joined this program. So now it's up to you. Start the program, and this program is also live on our social media platform, YouTube channel. So our students also are there. So we can start now.
Okay. So dear colleagues, graduate students and the other participants from Bangladesh, India, and other parts of the world, welcome all of you to this very important webinar. Hope you all are safe during this COVID-19 crisis. And I wish you, your families, relatives will remain safe in the coming days too. This is Professor Mustafa Ajad Kamal from Bangladesh Open University. I'm the Dean of the School of Business here and the coordinator of this Open Business webinar series. Just to tell few words about the School of Business Bangladesh Open University, I must mention that School of Business is one of the influential faculty at Bangladesh Open University, offering a range of graduate programs from MBA to PhD. You know that our Open Business webinar series is an ambitious and innovative initiative of the School of Business Bangladesh Open University under the banner of Open Business Talk. It started 3 years back and still is being continued. So we have some face-to-face sessions under Open Business Tank, also these webinars. It has been designed for the continuing professional development of the teachers, researchers, and graduate students of Bangladesh Open University and other universities in the areas of research, learning design, OER, e-learning, open education, blended learning, distributed learning, life skills, and value education. The webinars got two main objectives. We try to focus on the important issues related to research and learning. And secondly, we try to help everybody to be productive and empowered. Especially the main motto of this open business talk is not only to confine ourselves on the achievements, I mean, education and skills. We rather focus on the empowerment of the citizens. So for empowerment, we need education and skills, we need accomplishment, we need the mindset change, and also we need the self ability to understanding what self ability. From that point of view, this webinar is very, very important. We have very distinguished experts today in this panel. Uh, so the topic of this webinar is, the life skills and value education for 21st century. So it is rather more important uh, in this situation where this region and all over the world, this pandemic is going on. So what will happen after the pandemic? So before pandemic and within pandemic and after the pandemic, the situation is being changed. Social structures and social relationships, the type of the learning, everything is being changed a little bit. So this webinar is very, very important for that in that connection. We have three experts in the panel. You can see that Professor Sharoz Sharma, Honorable Chairman from Indian Institute for Open Schooling. You know that NEOS is a very famous and well-known institute all over the world, and it is an award-winning institute. So they own the Cole Award, I think 2 times, and very famous. And we usually, wherever the open schooling all over the world is practiced, so NEOS is a kind of example for everybody. So welcome Professor Shahrukh Sharma to this webinar. And we have Professor Nazrul Islam. He's the Pro-Vice Chancellor of Northern University of Bangladesh. And we have Dr. Manas Ranjan Panigrahi. He is from Commonwealth Educational Media Center for Asia, which is called SIMCA. He is the senior education specialist at SIMCA. And we also have Professor Kuntal De. He's basically an instructional designer, but he is very much involved in community learning and a lot of other areas of expertise he got. So we'll listen to him very clearly. So to introduce a little bit about or tell a little bit about Professor Sharma, what I told that she is the honorable chair of National Institute for Open Schooling, which is situated in Noida, India. And he got a diverse, actually, educational qualification. I was amazed to see that. She got MSc in botany, MA in sociology, she got MAd, MBA in human resource management, and MPhil and PhD in education. Her specialization primarily is on plant pathology, uh, criminology, educational administration and management, and also human resource management. Her fields of interest is curriculum construction in different levels of school and teacher education, innovations in teaching methodologies, peace, gender, environmental education, Indic studies, and defining the significance of ancient Indian sciences in contemporary education, community service, life skills, and value education. Madam will speak on life skills and value education today, what should be the life skill and value education in 21st century's context. I will listen to her in detail in her speech. And to tell something about Professor Nazrul Islam, he's a professor of management and management and international business. He's currently serving what I said that as the pro vice chancellor of Northern University of Bangladesh. He completed his PhD in international business at Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand. He was previously engaged in different academic positions at several public and private universities, including Khulna University, Brack University, North South University, East West University, Eastern University, Uttara University, Canadian University of Bangladesh, and Northern University of Bangladesh. And he also is involved in supervising PhD graduates, PhD scholars, and MPhil scholars at Bangladesh University of Professionals. He is a very active member of Association of Management Development Institutions in South Asia, AMDISA. You know that it's very famous for management development practices in the South Asian region. He got huge publications. He got 62 research articles in high index journals, international journals, and also 29 research papers in local peer reviewed journals. He attended several, almost 20 international conferences held in India, Nepal, Hong Kong, South Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, USA, Australia. He is a panel reviewer of South Asian quality assurance system. And in that capacity, Professor Islam reviewed ICFI Business School in India for its accreditation recently. Presently, Professor Islam, he is the editorial board member of several journals, including International Journal of Management and Business, British Journal of Economics, Management and Trade. He got several books already. He wrote several books on entrepreneurship, modern insurance, and global technological change impact on textile and garments workers in Bangladesh. We'll listen to him in detail when he will speak. And then we have Manas Ranjan Pranigari. Most of you may be familiar with his activities at SIMCA. He's currently a senior education specialist at Commonwealth Educational Media Center for Asia. You know that this SIMCA is a sister concern. It's a regional office of Commonwealth of Learning. It's based in New Delhi. So he, in that capacity, he is very much involved in the works with educational ministries, civil societies, and higher education institutions, teacher education institutions of 7 countries: Bangladesh, Brunei, India, Malaysia, Pakistan, Singapore, and Sri Lanka, for the achievement of learning for sustainable development. In SIMCA, he is promoting OER, open educational resources. Today, we'll listen to him how their activities are enhancing our awareness and understanding and skills in OER. He also is involved in developing policies for education, implementing higher education integrated model. So that model has been designed. He was in the process of designing this higher education integrated model. So Commonwealth of Learning is implementing this model all over the world. So especially he's looking after the implementation of this model in this region. He was involved in the developing of different MOOCs. And one MOOC is very interesting. It is specifically on life skills. And it is they're targeting the engineers and other teachers, graduate students also, to enhance their life skills. And personally, he was involved in teaching profession and research activities in a lot of universities in Asia, Africa, and also he is involved with UNDP, NCRT, IGNO, IMR, and he got experience of supervising more than 70 postgraduate and PhD research scholars. Dr. Panigrahi has published 48 research articles, conceptual papers, monograms on education in reputed national and international journals, and he is also an author of many textbooks and reference books for higher education level. Then, if we talk little bit about Professor Kuntal De, he is basically an industrial designer. He got the degree on industrial design from a National Institute of Design Ahmedabad, and he continued his career with some other areas like handicraft sector in India and in few other countries in Indian subcontinent. He slowly was attracted to larger picture of development, growing social issues and concerns, slowly drifted towards non-formal and informal education and technology-aided delivery education for sustainable development. He got a lot of involvement in holistic and contextual learning, and he believes that it can change the world for a better place and address the inequality in the society. He got experience of working with a lot of international organizations, including Commonwealth of Learning, Oxfam, and EAPERT. I mean, the Youth Professionals for Agricultural Research and Development, Food and Agricultural Organization, I mean, FAO, and Global Exchange and Leadership Initiative, and a lot of other organizations actually he was involved with. So these are the few words about them. So before going to the main session, may I request all of the participants to keep yourself muted. During the presentation, we will not take any direct question. So if you have any question during the presentation, put into the chat box. So after the presentation, we will take the questions and we will request the panelists to respond to your questions. So please keep your mics muted throughout the sessions, especially during the presentations, and then we'll reach you after the presentations. So now, with these few words and a brief introduction about the panelists, I would like to request Professor Sharad Sharma, the Honorable Chair of NEWS, to deliver her keynote speech. She will focus on learning without cross-border learning, and she will also focus on how ethics can be established through value education. Very, very important. So how ethics can be established through value education, and she will focus on moral values, and also she will try to connect these things with SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. So madam, the floor is yours now. So you can go up to 20 to 30 minutes. So whatever you like. So we'll carefully listen to you. We are waiting for this very valuable lecture from you. Thank you very much, madam. It's up to you now.
Professor Mustafa Azad Kamar, Dean School of Business, Bangladesh Open University. Professor Nazrul Islam, my fellow speaker, and another two fellow speakers, Dr. Manas Ranjan Panigrahi and Professor Kuntal Ding. Chanchalji from our open school, NIOS, and all the participants, learning participants, greetings from NIOS. First of all, I would like to congratulate the organizing committee on organizing this webinar on such an enchanting topic. This kind of initiatives are directly needed in today's academic scenario, and as Professor Mustafa said, that after pandemic, these kind of initiatives are directly needed to give a proper value enrichment and also a kind of conscious enrichment, because the pandemic period has become a global concern of late, and we have to, as educationists and stakeholders of education, I think it is a common concern and also common goal to establish such kind of amity in global scenario. You have asked me to discuss about values, moral values, citizenship, and also sustainable development goals. So yes, I was just thinking, as educationists, what kind of role we are playing. So I would just like to brief the forum that the organization which I am representing is world's largest open schooling system, where students are getting education through online mode. And also we have skill development courses, and these are more than 100 skill development courses. Yes, we are also educating students and these kind of ITI and other getting persons in terms of radio counseling and also television counseling. Various social media forums are there. So we are giving education through different modes, non-conventional modes of education. So these are the three major domains, and we are also having several projects. We are working in tribal areas, we are working for defense personnel, we are working for health workers, we are training world's largest health worker, that is called Asha project. And also there is one project that is Tejaswani. This is in tribal areas of Jharkhand in India. And also I would like to update this forum that we have been able to prepare a course in sign languages. So as you said that the kind of mental agony our students are facing, these kind of inclusion and development of sign languages, I think it will create a change in today's scenario, where our youth can come over the agony, the kind of mental stress. So these are the few aspects which I am discussing. And also there are certain courses for weavers and cosmetics, beauty. There are various skill development courses, but somewhere I think that we have clubbed the life skills with livelihood skills. Life skills are deep, I think somewhere deep rooted with personal ethics and livelihood skills. There should be a bridge between life skills and livelihood skills. And here, importance of values and value inculcation comes. Value of what? I belong to the country. In fact, we all belong to the subcontinent, where we talk about Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya. It is a Sanskrit quote which said everybody should be happy, and happiness curriculum is being part of globally of every country's curriculum. So that kind of happiness, Sarve Santu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya, everybody should be nirogi, everybody should be well-being is a concern. So this kind of philosophy, I think in today's educational scenario, we should inculcate in our students. And before we talk about some kind of values, personal values, moral values, social values, professional values, I would also like to quote UNESCO's Denner Commission report. In 1996, this commission was published, and UNESCO had a great initiative. This report was under chairmanship of Dr. Deller, and Deller has given emphasis on two kind of streams. One was the pillars of education, and second was lifelong learning. Today, when we talk about pillars of education, I think the sustainable development goals, which in today's Millennium 2030 goals talk about, this Deller Commission report was basis of this Millennium 2030 goal, where as a global citizen and also stakeholder of education community, we are working towards. This report says about learning to know. Why learning should be to know, yarn, to get knowledge, and also research and ethics also say. We also talk about Satyam Shivam Sundaram, truth, beauty, and goodness for the sake of society. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina is the basis of this truth, beauty, and goodness. We should discover truth. And after truth, this truth should be for the sake of society. And with this truth and beauty, the goodness will come in the society. This is the core of value system, I think, and this kind of value system should be inculcated in our society. I was discussing about Deller Commission report. It talks about learning to know. Why learning should be there, why a bipolar system between learner and teacher, and the tripolar system where, as DB said, that third pole is society. So this bonding, the triangle between society, student and teacher, why we should know to increase our knowledge, the metaphysics, the cognitive effect, the empathy, the epistemology, why, how, what, these kind of things which come in education philosophy, I think this should be the core of learning to know. We should know, and we should know the real truth behind every cause and effect. And then second pillar, which Taylor Commission talks about, learning to do. Whatever we have learned, how we should make this in dynamic process. Learning to do, practical is there and theory is there. We have to bridge the gap between theory and practice. Learning to do, and the third most important, learning to be. Why I am learning? Mera wazood is a Urdu word. My existence, why I am learning, what I want to become after learning. We are giving many professionals in the society, engineers, doctors, businessmen, chartered accountants, and various professionals we are giving to the society. But are they having ethics? Are they having professional ethics, or learning to be? This talks about to become something. And fourth, most important, learning to live together. Why I'm learning? I and you must have coexistence in society in every arena, every sphere, and this is learning to live together. I may have difference of opinion with you, but I'm not going to cut your throat. So this kind of theory where we have difference of opinion, but as human being we have to live together. This is learning to live together. And after that, the Deller Commission has talked about many things. What kind of education globally should be: legal education, human rights education, value education, environmental education, peace education, gender education. So these kind of things which Taylor Commission has given base, and today it came after that Millennium 2020 goal. There were certain goals, and now globally we are discussing Millennium 2030 goals, where 4.4 talks about education and sustainable development goal in education. It is the expansion of this four pillar education, I think, where peace is there, gender is there, inclusion is there, and also various aspects which we are catering. Recently, in India, new education policy has been launched, and Parliament has given approval also. So this new education policy, or it is also called National Education Policy (NEP 2020), it is also in tune of UNESCO's Millennium 2030 goals, which ethos this four pillar education also, and our ancient Indian wisdom also, and also the subcontinent, the Indian subcontinent and global citizen. It talks about learning without border. It talks about bridging the gap between learner and the community. So these kind of new things we are discussing these days. And when we talk about values, I also said that there are personal values, professional values, and here how we should bridge a gap between values and profession, personal values and societal values, because of it we have witnessed many agony. I will again quote that our youth is witnessing a very new kind of thing. Rather, we have witnessed in our lifespan a different kind of this pandemic period where we were locked for many months in our home, and this kind of online education, it was a concern in India also, and I was reading somewhere that it was a global concern, especially for with disability, the person with various kind of learning disability, they were also facing problems. Though we were into very much into teaching and learning process through online mode, here value system, family system, societal, how we are useful to the society, these kind of things are here to discuss. I will ask Chanchalji, just please just give the slides, so that in a few slides I would like to give a little detail. I know time limit is there, but in a very brief I would like to discuss a few things which are directly linked to this. Now we are discussing 21st century education goals, individual and collective well-being. So this is the era where well-being is a concern globally. So in the 21st century, that goal of life has been increasingly defined in terms of well-being. We all know, and it is a concern. Well-being involves more than access to material resources. Yes, definitely material is secondary. When life is on a road, life is on four, material should be given secondary part, and our youth must be make acquainted about material reality and life along realities such as income and wealth, jobs and earnings and housing. Though these are the necessary requirement of livelihood, but yes, life skills, I think personally that with good life skills, inculcation, livelihood skills can be also earned through ethics and values. Then also it is related to the quality of life, including health, civic engagement, social connections, education, security, life satisfaction, and the environment. Next slide, please. Then issues and challenges in 21st century, when we discuss the uncertainties that we faced in the past and present times and in future years to come. Yes, I would like to quote here that we have to prepare for future times also. This was a big lesson. Last 3, 4 months, 5 months were a lesson for us, and it made us future prepared also. We are now into making different kind of medicines and also vaccines for COVID. But yes, we have to prepare our youth mentally, and also we, our medical system, our social system, we have to mentally prepare for that kind of scenario. If another kind of pandemic comes in future, what steps we are going to take, what kind of disaster management we are going to take, and goals and motivation to live their life will be more than getting a good job and a high income. They have to take care about the well-being of their friends and families, their surroundings, and the planet Earth. Yes, very much. I think in recent few months, when our children were in our home, we were there with them, a kind of bonding was developed in the family, the home cooked food and various other things where we were ample time to sit together, discuss about things. This was also a good lesson for us. And then the last point in this slide is to learn coping mechanism to adjust themselves with failures and rejection, and to move forward in the face of adversity. This is a very important aspect. I want to discuss that. We teach our children to be a winner. We always say who has become first in the class, who has become first in the game. But when we talk about winningness, to make them learn about failure and rejection, it is also very much important. How to make them competent enough to learn about their failure and also cope up with their rejection. And what is life skill? I would like to quote here. UNICEF says life skill as a behavior change or behavior developed approach designed to address a balance of three areas, that is knowledge, attitude, and skills. And also overall aim of education is modification of behavior. We all know today's aim is modification of behavior. I think these three domains, that is knowledge, attitude, and skills, define this concept very well. And World Health Organization, life skills as the abilities to adaptive and positive behavior that enable individuals to deal effectively with the demand and challenge of everyday's life. Again, I would like to quote about sustainable goals and emphasis on life skills, which UNESCO talks, and as different countries of the world, we are also working towards this with the adoption of SDGs, including SDG 4, ensure inclusive and equitable quality educators and promote lifelong learning opportunities and for all in 2015, and the target 4.4 by 2030. There are various goals, relevant skills, including technical and vocational skills, employment, decent jobs. These are the things which target 4.4 talks about, and target 4.7 talks about by 2030 we have to ensure all learners acquire knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development, including among others through education for sustainable development, a sustainable lifestyle, human rights, gender equity, promotion of a culture of peace and non-violence, global citizenship, and appreciation of cultural diversity and of culture's contribution to sustainable development. So, as I said, this was the extension of our Deleuze Commission report. We talked about 4 pillars of education and also what skills learner require in 21st century. That is, learners require 21st century skills, including life skills for the individual and social welfare and sustainable development. 21st century skills are abilities and attributes that can be taught or learned in order to enhance ways to thinking, learning, working, and living in the world. Yes, here I would also like to critical thinking and living with ethics and ethics through education. There are certain pointers which you can see that this 21st century life skills are mentioned, that these are creativity and innovations, various other things you can read out that is there. And last, I would like to read out life and career skills and personal and social responsibility, including cultural awareness and competence. So when we talk about critical thinking, here I would like to suggest that we teach our students different things, but somewhere when we are giving professional to the society, do we teach engineers to earn well through professional ethics, corruption-free society? Do we teach our doctors to be ethically correct, to give their life and soul for the sake of humanity? Yes, there are doctors, there are health workers, they are they are working day and nights, but somewhere we are also responsible to make a bridge between community and these professionals with ethical correctness. When I say ethical correctness, here comes the value system which as family we are giving to our children, as teachers we are teaching to our students, and as a social person we are spreading these kind of thinking in society, community, and link between community and teaching fraternity. I think it should come together to develop such kind of initiative to bring value system in the society. And again, I will come to this slide. What skills students require? Students will need to apply their knowledge in unknown and evolving circumstances. This is broadly these 3 skills are cognitive and metacognitive skills, that is critical thinking, creative thinking, learning to learn, self-regulation, social and emotional skills, that is empathy, self-efficacy, and collaboration. And last one is practical and physical skills, that is using new ICT devices. So these are the broad things, and somewhere I think this is a very formal kind of thing where we are categorizing these things. But somewhere how these skills can be delivered and developed, here greater role of a teacher comes, where inclusion and integration of 21C skills, including life skills in teacher training and pedagogy is needed, fostering a culture of peace in classroom, civic education, human rights, and developing students' communication skills. These are our area where we have to develop a kind of system where it will go naturally in our students, and strategic curriculum reform, textbooks learning, assessment, school environment, overall system management to promote these skills in letter and spirit. So these are the things which we can categorize, but somewhere I think we have a greater responsibility. Please remove the slides. I would like to connect them directly. So it was a brief presentation, but somewhere I think these kind of things which we have discussed as a person, as an individual, or as a member, the person of human, we have to be a person who can inculcate value in our students. Here again, question will come: values be taught? I'm of the opinion, yes, values be taught, because today's youth is very much inclined towards social media, very much inclined towards mobile games, mobile issues, and various other. Yes, he is very well acquainted with the ICT. He is very much a person of information technology world, but somewhere information must be in tune of humanity, in tune of personal touch, which we talk about, that should be a bonding between teacher and student. So that kind of bonding, how we can inculcate values in them, this is the question of this forum. I'm happy that this kind of this topic has been given to me to discuss about. Here I say, yes, I am a person of the society where I have greater responsibility. I am the torch bearer of the society, being a teacher. You all are the torch bearer of the society, being a teacher. So we have greater responsibility to inculcate values, and yes, values can be taught also. If I do some things which is ethically correct, if my follower, if my student is witnessing the things, he is looking the things which I am doing correctly, also follow me. We in NCRT for education, and also in NIUS, we have prepared a curriculum which tries to inculcate values through value system, through physics, value system through maths, value system through linguistic. We can give certain examples through curriculum. We can make curriculum that kind of where values are given prime importance, and also transactional modalities, how we transact knowledge to our student, how we disseminate knowledge to our students, that is also very much important. So here I stop my presentation, and also with a hope that we will be able to provide some suggestion to the society regarding value inculcation and also 21st century life skills. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me, and I hope we will be able to bring such kind of change.
And thank you very much, Professor Sharu Sharma. Madam, you covered a lot of issues in a very short presentation. And I personally have been actually impressed to know all these concepts. So we'll take the questions later on, and we'll know from you some more suggestions and clarifications wherever required. So now I'm going to Professor Nazrul Islam, who is the Pro Vice Chancellor of Northern University of Bangladesh. Professor Nazrul, actually, you know, from the keynote, we got an idea about the life skills and the importance of value education, especially in the context of 21st century. So, what is your perception about the current status of life skills and value education in Bangladesh? And also, you can focus on how these are practiced in the teaching learning process in Bangladesh. And another focus can be on the importance of the skills and value education in the context of 21st century, especially post-COVID situation. So you can take 10 to 15 minutes to just share your experience and ideas. And yeah, thank you very much. So
thank you very much, Professor Azad. I was just listening the keynote speech of Professor Shushama, and she covered a lot of things, and it's a broad and challenging issue, in fact. It is not only important in India or Bangladesh, it is important all over the world in our education system to how to create value through education. We know that the Einstein said that education is not the learning of facts, but training of the mind to think. That means, how can we train our mind to think? And as educator or educators, what Professor Shoshama mentioned, that it is the responsibility of the educators to create thinking ability, to train the mind to think of our learners, valued learners. But in formal education, this value, creation of value or ethics is really difficult. But what Professor Sushama mentioned, that yes, if it is embedded in curriculum, or if we can um, include the triangle method, society, student, and teacher, bring these three actors in one platform, and then there might have a chance to create the value in our education and teaching learning method. And the value is nothing but the basic convictions or beliefs where people are fixed. That means, but in our formal education at the tertiary level, we are basically disseminating the facts to the learners. We are not, in fact, I should say that, able to create impact or create, what should I say, thinking among them through our education and in our teaching learning method. So the 21st century, in this 21st century, it is the challenge for the teaching community, for the teachers, how to teach our students in such a way so that they will, it will create thinking among them, and that thinking will help them to learn their life, help them to sustain their education. When we talk about the values in value education, few things comes to our mind, such as justice, passions, then integrity, hospitality, equivalence, sympathy, honesty, freedom, human rights, fairness, responsibility, respects. A lot of things comes to our mind. But question is whether we are able to create this feeling, create this kind of thinking among our learners. That's the question. And I think the issue mentioned by the keynote speaker here today, that inclusive and equitable quality education is needed. Inclusive, that means if we can include all the people in this education system, and if we can promote lifelong learning and value-based learning system, then I think we can create value among our among the learners, among the students. And in South Asia, what we see? We see our people are highly anchored. That means they are basically emotionally driven. So the question raised nowadays, how to establish control over this emotion, because if the learner is emotionally driven, then it will be very difficult for them to establish value among them, because they are highly fixed there by their emotion. so that you know that in Daniel Goleman in United States, he suggested that it is not only the IQ, it is the EQ, EI, or emotional intelligence, that can help ourselves to become successful, to increase value in our learning. And you know that what Professor Sushama mentioned, that we there are three aspects like cognitive issues, then affective issues, and psychomotor issues. These three issues are the three domains of learning. That is true. But whether we are able to equally focus on these three issues in our teaching learning process or not, in through our lecture or our discussions, we are basically um, uh, giving them, disseminating information, increasing their knowledge. What about the emotion, affective part, that is thinking part? Are we able to establish control over their emotion or over the emotion of the learners through our teaching learning methods and through this teaching learning process, what we are practicing today? And also, what about the practicing part? That means the psychomotor part. You know that if the more the practice, the more the stability and emotion will likely be. Therefore, I think that at the tertiary level, not only in Bangladesh, in South Asian countries, this emotional intelligence issue, that means the self awareness, that means the self monitoring issue, then self motivation issue, empathy issue, and social skills. These five components of emotional intelligence, if we can include this emotional intelligence issue in our in the curriculum, I should say at the tertiary level, then perhaps we will be able to provide effective teaching, and we'll be able to create thinking, increasing the thinking among the learners at the tertiary level. And you have asked another question regarding Bangladesh. At the tertiary level, our learners are the matured learners. So at this level, again, I should say that if we can create impact through the teaching learning process among them, only then this creation of value we can create value in education through our teaching learning process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Nazrul Islam, for your very thoughtful talks and the ideas you added. One is about the emotional intelligence. You focused on that. So we'll listen to you later again if any question comes from the audience. Now I'm moving to uh, Professor Dr. Manas Ranjan Panigrahi. Dr. Manas, I can you focus on something like so what kind of initiatives are taken by Simca and CORE for promoting life skills and value education in this region? Because you are providing a lot of support, a lot of actually capacity building trainings in this region. What about the focus on life skills and value education? How you deal with this? And what are the target groups? How many people you are trying to reach, and whom are being at us now or getting this kind of benefits or trainings? And what is your future plan in enhancing the capacity of the teachers and learners in this region on 21st century skills and open sharing of the resources? So you will get 10 minutes plus minus. So Dr. Manas, the floor is over to you now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Mustafa. First of all, I would like to congratulate you and your team and your university taking this initiative. As I know, this is a continuous process that is you are conducting long back, and it will continue in future. That is open business talk, and this is really good initiative. And the topic which you have chosen today, this is in time, I can say, and this is also give insightful to your learners and your faculties and teacher fraternity in the particularly in Bangladesh and beyond. With these words, I would like to congratulate Professor Saroj Sharma, Chairperson, National Institute of Open Schooling, for her new assignment. And congratulations, madam, and your nice keynote address, which I have listened. This has covered almost all conceptual level and what exactly targeted in India and so forth, connecting with the sustainable development goals, that is which is the major focus by 2030. So Dr. Nazrul Islam, Pro Vice Chancellor of Northern University of Bangladesh, and I really happy to connect with you and listening to you, your experiences in this regard. And my co-panelist, Professor Kuntal De, instructional designer and industrial designer for which is I can say that backbone of the content development for open and digital learning and open and distance learning particularly. I will be happy to listen to you, and I know you are connected with Commonwealth of Learning and SEMCA, and we work together, and your contribution is highly remarkable and appreciable. So with these words, I would like to just reflect towards the collaboration with Bangladesh Open University and Commonwealth of Learning and SEMCA, which is the regional center of Commonwealth of Learning for Asia. And the topic which you are talking about, SEMCA's not only just enhancing the capacity, but also reflecting more on that, how to inculcate, how to establish life skills and value education for 21st century learners and the 21st century professionals and 21st century lifelong learners, I can say as well. So I will share a few things which is more important. I am involved with that, and I am working last 6 years in this regard to promote lifelong learning with special reference to the life skills. So before going to that, I just wanted to reflect on that. What are life skills actually? What we understand by life skills? It is nothing that this is the abilities for adaptive and positive behavior that enable individuals, individuals, to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of the everyday life. If I will, in a simple word, I can say that they are abilities that facilitate the physical, mental, emotional well-being of an individual. This is very simple way. And it means every day, every individual with respective of any caste, creed, socioeconomic background, anything, we are learning and we are enhancing our life skills. That range of enhancement may be less, may be more, may be moderate, may be any position. But it is more important, my dear friends, I can just talk about here that two things is very important. One is the adaptiveness and positive behavior. Adaptive means the person is flexible in approach and is able to adjust to different circumstances. Whether it may be the teacher, it may be the learners, it may be the content developers, it may be the any one of us, maybe the parents and the, who are the workers working in the different environment and professions. Another one is the positive behavior. Positive behavior, it means that a person is forward looking, and that it means very simple, to tackling with the problem, tackling to the problem and managing with the problem. You should not believing that the problem is the problem. You need to move into that, understand the problem is the opportunity, and you need to overcome that opportunity from your experiences, environments, and you need to make yourself mentally and psychologically prepared to deal with that situation. Commonwealth of Learning and SEMCA working in this regard very closely and very effectively. That is moving towards that. To achieve the life skills, inculcate these life skills, and managing these life skills as per the circumstances you are dealing with. So here I can say one sentence that the role of the teachers and the parents is more important for the life skill is concerned. Because every moment we are broadly categorizing the life skills in two aspects. One is the thinking skills and social skills. While I'm talking about the parents, teachers, and the students and an organization, we are moving towards the more on the social skills, how to behave, how to maintain, how to maintain your different kind of behaviors, which can be reaching to that level of maintaining of the standard. So another one is the thinking skills. Thinking leads to your social skills. Thinking derives towards the social skills. You need to understand in a effective way these the major core skills are involved for any kind of lifelong learning situation. These are the self-awareness. You need to make yourself more aware and understand, and need to inculcate the different types of knowledges. And another may be the empathy, need of critical thinking, need of creativity and creative thinking, which is the higher order thinking, we can say, and decision making, which is the part of the leadership position, leadership reflections. And you need to also look into the problem solving and interpersonal relationship skills, and effective communication, make all these skills bonded with each other. That is the more important, how you are communicating. That communication is not only just the verbal, it may be also the physical communication, and communication through different means. That effective communication make you to enhance your self-awareness, empathy, and it build your critical thinking, and it will lead towards your adequate and appropriate leadership, which is towards the decision making skills, and it will give you an opportunity to understand towards the problem solving. I'm coming to with this, and this will really help you to make yourself to coping with your stress and dealing with your emotions. Many times, being an individual, in many situations, I'm not talking about only just for the teaching learning situations, because my participants are from diversified areas. They are, and some of them are business students. They may go to the different organizations to work there, and they may involve in the any industries. They may involve in the any service providing industries. They may engage with the many manufacturing industries. But the coping with the stress and dealing with the emotions are more important two things. While if you are inculcating the life skills, which we are discussed the few of them, these are the core skills which is more important to manage your life skills and make yourself lifelong learner. So in this regard, I just wanted to share with you, not taking much time, my friends, this Commonwealth of Learning involved in what is called involved in capacity development of the teachers and leaders and institutional leaders, industrial leaders to prepare and develop different learning materials. While we are developing these learning materials, I know that Professor Kuntal will reflect on more that designing and development of different kind of learning materials. However, I just let you know how we are maintaining, we are focusing more on that integrated approach, that which dealing with the any content development need to leads integratedly inculcate life skills. So any course and materials which we are involving with the integrated approach, through which the life skills can be reflected in the each and every learning materials, and it can prepare a base for the learners or the lifelong learners to enhance their life skills and inculcate their values. And with this inculcation of values and content delivery system, that can be reflected towards the managing and maintaining of the different level of life skills and different types of life skills in their profession. So if I will look into the different activities, what we used to do to while developing and enhancing the capacity of the individuals and leaders or the teachers for inculcation of the life skills, we used to go for the group work, collaborative work, constructive work, and we are going for the peer teaching process. We are arranging for the various discussions. We are arranging and collaborating for the different games, and we are maintaining for the different type of excursion and moving towards the real-time situation where they can understand the life skills can be integrated in the course curricula and curriculum. And we are also moving towards the different kind of competitions and hackathon programs for the different kind of different institutions and the governments, which can be leading to the enhancing of the different types of life skills and leadership skills, as well as decision making skills, and moving step by step to maintain the sustainability in their particular situation. Maybe the teacher, maybe the students, maybe the parents, that sustainability in that particular managing with different kind of situations is more important in the life skills is concerned. For this, for enhancing of this situation, we used to also have various process that any kind of content materials and capacity building program which we are organizing for various faculties and the various school of studies, that through the different review processes and coming up with the different reports in relation to the teachers' perception and leadership's perception, and as well as ministries and policymakers' perception, and combining all these things and going for the discussion and different activities which can be reflecting to enhancing and integrating life skills in their teaching learning process. And without wasting much time, I just wanted to let you know, SEMCA come out with life skill for engineers course, which is leading to the social engineers, means for it is meant for the everyone. I would like to inform you that this course, which is based upon the NASCOM report of India, which is telling that 80% of the engineers are lacking behind with the skill of employability. So life skills is concerned that which is leading to the employability, and employability is more essential for that moving to existing and sustainable yourself for your livelihood. So this course we launched on demand and understanding reviewing of the various situations in collaboration with the University of Hyderabad and tech partner with Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. And this course reached more than 75 countries and with 10K participants. They are engineers, non-engineers, and social engineers, and many more. And recently I shared that link, and third cycle of this course is open for the enrollment. I wish everybody should enroll to this, and Galaxy of Academia is delivering their lectures, and they are providing the training and case studies to understand and inculcate and develop your values and life skills for lifelong learning. So this is one very important aspect I thought that I should share with you. And recently I have conducted the study how this program has improved employability among the learners after completion of this course and moving towards the profession. I found from different experience sharing sessions that this course helped the engineers and non-engineers to make their improving in the more on the leadership skills, as well as I can say that maintaining the different emotions in a particular time and showing their emotions in particular time and place. So the professional development in their profession, which is helping them to enhance the leadership positions as well, those who are employed engineers and non-engineers as well. And at the same time, they are maintaining the group activities and involving with the group and maintaining the better professional relationship, as well as moving towards the better social relationships. This is the findings which we found from this course implementation. And lot more, Professor Mustafa, no, lot more things we have, which is we can discuss. If you will particularly ask any questions, we can discuss more initiatives in Commonwealth of Learning and SEMCA, which is special reference to the life skills and value inculcation through different modalities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Manas. It was really excellent because a lot of initiatives are being taken by SIMCA and CORE, especially SIMCA in this region as the regional center for CORE. And we learned a lot of things from you, and hope that we will try to share these links with our students, our colleagues, so that they can just make up these gaps, because this is true that this gap is there. The employability skills are very much missing. So this course is very interesting, and I attended this course previously also. So the contents are very nice. So now I am moving to Professor Kuntal De. So Professor Kuntal, as I said, that he got some kind of unique experience because he worked with community. He got some model or structure or framework that community engagement, how community engagement or involvement can create learning among the people, and which can sustain our better livelihood in terms of entrepreneurship, business, or any other kind of abilities. So, Professor Kuntal, can you just to tell something about you experience, if you like to focus you experience in developing life skills at community level, so you can do that. Along with that, I will prefer if you just put a little light on learning communities, why learning communities are critical for enhancing life skills and how to develop the learning communities. And, and also you can focus briefly on the idea of learning for contextual response, because this is very, very important. So whatever we are learning, maybe our contents are very much rigid. We don't improve them regularly, but our contents or our teaching learning process sometimes is not responsive to contextual changes. So how we can do that, and how can this add value to the educational initiatives currently being undertaken by the educational institutions in India and Bangladesh? So floor is over to you, Professor Kuntalde. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Mustafa, and thank you, my respected colleagues who have given such a wonderful overview of what's really this world is about and how the education today. Uh, I think the primary goal for the education framework to fit itself back into the world. I'm sorry, maybe that sounds a little harsh, but it's a fact that a large part, if not all, of the education framework that we have seen in the recent past have been kind of have been walling itself away from the real world. You know, it was operating on various idealistic situations, and perhaps also kind of overlooked the very fact that the world changes and the change could be very fast to respond to. I mean, one of the examples that I would like to take is that when pandemic struck, most of the schools and colleges, at least in India, because I know, struggled for at least about a month or two to adapt to new ways of delivery system so that they could reach to the learners. Whereas we have, Professor Panigrahi can, Dr. Panigrahi will support me. We had open and distance learning going on for how many years now? 20? So it's something that perhaps we have kind of created small watertight boxes in education system that didn't learn from each other or didn't even learn from the real world very often. And that's what I think Professor Sharma has in details kind of laid out in front of us, the requirement of change that we are facing today, and the requirement of change that's been physically manifested by MOOCs that's been designed and developed by SIMCA and COL. What has happened is what Professor Sharma said, that we have created villains in the class rather than heroes. We have focused too much on individualism or individualistic patterns of merit of a student rather than seeing that community, kind of building a community of learners. Now, why I'm saying this is very important, that we are living in a world which has shown that it can change drastically and very fast and pose a problem to our livelihood, our living, our society in many ways. And that's one of the reasons I know for sure that in many parts of the world today, we are talking about critical thinking, problem solving kind of an approach to education. Now, problem solving does not happen alone. If you're a single person, trying to approach a problem or solve a problem, it'll never go away. It has to be a community, it has to be a collective effort that has to, kind of attack that problem, find out the resources and solve it. And that's why I think my firm belief is that we need to go back to creating community of learners, learning communities rather than learning individuals. We need to recalibrate our merit system, so that we look at leadership and all these other issues from very different perspectives. Now, why I'm saying leadership is again what we mentioned, the contextual response. Uh, I can more or less, I do not remember the website, but there is enough information and data available. How the livelihood options have changed, and how almost about 70% of the world population today works in the areas. It could be enterprise, could be job, could be something else, where their professional trainings or their professional learning was completely different. They're working in areas which doesn't have anything to do with their education. I mean, if you really look at the engineering, if you really look at management, if you really look at many other such segments, we are not working, a large part of our community is not working based on what they have learned in the formal education system, but what they have learned after that. So there are a lot of people who are already practicing this lifelong learning concept. And I think that's something which becomes even more in focus when we talk about contextual changes, which are becoming so fast, so disruptive. I mean, the background of this whole webinar is, of course, pandemic and the post-pandemic world. Uh, and only yesterday, I was talking to one of my mentees, and she was saying that their family had to kind of shift away from the city because her father had an issue with her job, with his job. Her mother had an issue with her job because of the pandemic, etc. I know that in my locality there is a person who drove around his car delivering books to the children who go to the government school and couldn't access the school during the pandemic, during the lockdown. So people have been innovating ways to reach and to create access and to all that. I mean, you know very well that Sidulai Swanirvar Sanstha in Bangladesh, the board school, the famous board school, they've been reaching the students regularly, even through how do I say it, through the through their board schools, etc. You have to just give me 1 minute. I'm so sorry, but somebody rang the bell. I'll just open the door and come back. I'm really sorry for this.
Okay, so let us wait for him. And so, dear participants, if you have any question, please keep put your questions in the chat box. So, so at the end of the presentation or talk of Kuntal there, we will take the questions.
Yeah, I'm really very sorry. My sincere apologies, but this is one of the disadvantages when you work from home, perhaps. So anyway, what I was saying, that the life skill and this whole thing of contextual response, it's very important that we look at community learning and learning communities both. The other skill which I see is very important for any children to have today is the ability to analyze and synthesize and come to a conclusion or take a decision. I think this is very critical, because if you are in a context which is completely against you, in a situation which is completely against you, how do you respond to that context? I think this is becoming a more and more burning question. Last year, even before the pandemic, I heard from one of my classmates in Australia, and she was saying that we are struggling with the wildfire. All the schools are closed. I do not know how to, engage my two girls at home and what they should be doing. So she started a completely, on her own, she started developing certain kind of skills in them, like weaving, etc., because she was a designer. She's a textile designer. Some of these questions are becoming so big in our lives that we need to look at the education completely differently. One of the things that I can see also, particularly in countries like ours, that there's a disconnect between the formal, informal, and non-formal education system. The education space and the environment is shrinking. We can give 5 activity classes to a school child, a child who's studying in school, but that cannot replace an open field where he can run, fall, and learn what life skill he has to pick up. So somewhere, I think it's very important that we start rebuilding our learning environment. That's something which I think is irreplaceable. And that's what perhaps would lead to what we've been talking about is contextual learning. The other thing that I can think of is that, somewhere I have never agreed to the concept of a teacher. And if I'm talking about today, a continuous learning process, lifelong learning process, I imagine a teacher like a very good librarian and a traffic police rolled together. The traffic police never drives your car, but gives you direction, right direction where to go. Like the librarian, perhaps, who hasn't read the book, but knows exactly which section you need to go to and to access that resource. So teachers have to become resource people. That means they have to learn continually too. So that is one of the major area that we have to address, which will perhaps allow us to fulfill all the parameters that have been well covered by my other respected colleagues. The so resourcing is something which is, or sourcing is something very important for to live in today's world, to kind of address something which is just emerging, because we are talking about a situation which is emerging, which never faced before. That's again where I think community becomes very important, because if there is a community, then the resources are bigger. The variety, diversity, and the availability of the resources are much larger. So that's again, I think it's very important that we bring in learning communities in focus. We build learning communities who not only learn themselves but share with each other. So that's another part. And as far as content is concerned, I think one of the ways that we have seen in today's world is developing of content around content, somewhat like say Google Map. We have, or even the travel blogs. There are reviews. There are all kind of things. Now, textbook will be kind of a little old by the time it hits the market. It takes even a lot of time to produce a textbook, so it cannot be updated that regularly. So could be online. And the second thing is, sometimes when we generate the content, we are looking at it like, we have to deliver this content to this target group, of course, the students. But to me, I think it's very important that we start integrating the learner developed content for our learning teaching um, uh, process. Why cannot the peer generated content come into as learning material? Particularly in case of the community level learning, we have seen in many different projects, even from COL, we have seen in many different projects that the community developed content is much more contextual, adaptable, and very, very local specific. It has a very strong grounding and reference to the local and my immediate environment, my immediate surrounding, and that has worked. So I think that's something which has to come to develop learning communities and community-driven learning processes. And yes, I think I wouldn't take much time because everything else is coming covered. And only thing that I would like to say that, sometimes also perhaps we need to categorize in different levels where we need qualifications and where we need abilities. Somewhere this also is getting a bit confused because I know I have worked with many people, and it's not, when I'm saying qualification and abilities, it's not that the person doesn't have some other kind of ability, but just because I have studied management may not make me a good manager. My strength could be somewhere else. I need to find that. So somewhere our education system perhaps need to look at more becoming more of a consultative process with the learners, diagnostic process with the abilities and strengths and weaknesses. So it kind of to me slowly should shift from a teaching learning process to a learning mentoring process. That's what I think is the call of the day. So that's one of the things that I can think of hearing all my respected colleagues. The other thing that I was thinking of when Professor Sharma said that communication skills, I think communication skills today, I mean, we live in a hashtag world, but I think somewhere the storytelling has gone missing, which touches my emotion, which touches me as an individual human being. I mean, why should I be sitting in a literature class where there is no storytelling, but it's too analytical, too dry? Same thing happens. All of us were scared about mathematics. But very frankly, I mean, I liked physics not because of the physics textbook, but there is a book called Physics for Entertainment by Y.A. Perelman. That was storytelling about physics that intrigued my questions, that triggered my question. I think that's something which we are all looking at, the questioning ability of the student, analysis ability of the student. Yeah. So I think that's where I would stop. There are many things that we need to do, but yes, we require a quantum leap in our approach and not necessarily in our framework, but we need to start seeing that framework from a different perspective. So employability is not about a job anymore, but employability is also about self-employment and developing an enterprise. I mean, we are always talking about creating more. So some of these things we perhaps need to relook at and redefine from our side. So that's what my perspective is. And yeah, thank you very much for giving me a chance to kind of talk. And I'm sorry I didn't prepare anything, but I was listening to what my colleagues have said, and I just wanted to bring in my thought process into that. Thank you very
Excellent.
much.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you very much, Professor Kuntal De. It was really nice. So we almost at the end of the webinar. So we will take few questions because some questions came into the chat box. The first one is it has been asked by Dr. Poonam. I think the question is she wants to know the focus on essential life skills needed for women empowerment. So what kind of life skills are essential for women empowerment? I think it's better to go to uh, Madam to respond because so Professor Sharos Sharma Madam, you can respond to this question. So what kind of essential life skills required for women empowerment?
Thank you very much. And it is a very good question. Women empowerment, when I see in a larger frame, we are empowered a lot in terms of better resistance, which nature has given to us. We are giving life to a newborn. This is the power we are having naturally. But in a modern times, when we talk about kind of women empowerment, I think women is everywhere, but the kind of glass ceiling is seen in several corporate, and the wages which we are not getting in unorganized sector, that is also a concern. But yes, the scenario is not that depressing. There are certain skills where, whether it is in agriculture, horticulture, there are certain professional skills where women are getting more and more, they are coming into the field, and yes, they are giving good results too. So today's day is very much of vocational skills. A woman must know how to be professionally empowered, and these professions will give her monetary support also. So there are various areas when women can embark, and yes, give a good income to her. And also in the family, teaching is there, various vocational skills are there, medical profession, various professionals are there, even in defense women are coming up. So scenario is being changed, and we have to have much confidence to embark in different unsearched areas, unembarked areas, and there we can succeed because we have a strong willpower.
Thank you very much, Madam, for nice explanation and feedback. So another question is from Mr. Habibur Rahman. He asked, he needs to know or wants to know the employability education or employability skills in depth in relation to material gain, accomplishment, and spiritual intelligence. So he wants to know the employability or employment education, how it is related to or how it can incorporate the material gain accomplishment as well as the spiritual accomplishment. So I think we can go to Dr. Manas Panigrahi, if you can respond little, and then I'll move to Kuntal De for the rest of the question.
Thank you very much. This is really question which is expected, and we always get this kind of question. And if I will refer to Dr. Kuntal De, in his talk, he has already mentioned that a little bit about the employability. And employability, if I will reflect to our experiences, and this is the employability skills are this is I can say that this is not skill, this is the outcome of the different life skills. And sustainability in the enhancing your employability, not just reflecting towards the joining any other organization, but also it can be reflecting towards the how you are make your own startups, and how you are engaging yourself to enhance these existing life skills, and how you are using this life skills to enhance your employability. There are two things which we need to discuss. And if I will look into this one, very simple example, I would like to say, if you will go to the spirituality things, if you are talking about the spirituality things, this is what is spiritual. This is nothing just a way of life, and the life skills we are what we are adopting in the context and from the community and from the society, and that we are reflecting towards our day-to-day life, and we are living our life with happily. So that creation of the happiness, which is making you to and your livelihood, which can give you an opportunity to reflect towards the spirituality, right? So what I believe that from our different experiences, these lifelong learning and life skills, it goes parallelly, and we need to enhance these life skills for lifelong learning to make ourselves sustainable in what concern, not only just for the getting your livelihood, but also after getting your livelihood, making others to get into the uh, this sigma, and you need to maintain your what is called ability in the same livelihood, providing to the other interest group, and creating an environment within the community so that people will learn from you and make themselves become sustainable through different so this is all about the spirituality. I don't believe that something you can worship and something you can which is we particularly Southeast Asian countries moving towards. But I believe that spirituality in different connotation, which we need to worship to what you love, what you find comfortable in your surrounding, what you really manage and make beautification in your surrounding. That I think this is the spirituality which is can give you the opportunity to earn your life skills and moving towards in that way. But from my side, this is the thing which if you will look into the different materials and yeah, you can see the example of, while I'm talking about the content development in Bangladesh and content development in particularly in India, at the same moment when I'm moving towards the content development in UK and US. So things are completely different, and it is completely contextualized to that particular environment. So this is what we believe it can be accomplished, and it can be make through practice and training and retraining and moving towards implementing in your own life to generate more vibrant towards the happiness society and happiness well-being, and involving the community and community engaging for the available learning materials, as well as contextualize these materials to enhance your life skills accordingly. Over to you.
So thank you, Dr. Manash. Professor Kuntal, just can you add something linking with this question? For example, so the question was how we can just connect this kind of lifelong learning and this life skills with the well-being and the happiness of the societies and communities. So you were talking about community learning instead of the individual learning. Learning individuals. So how you can connect this community learning or contextualized learning with this kind of stability in the society in terms of happiness, spiritual well-being, or whatever it is, some kind of social skills, spiritual skills, emotional skills. So how this can be connected with the stability of the society?
Thank you, Mustafa. I think it's if we really look at community learning, it kind of serves as an answer or provides an answer to most of the questions that we'll ask in the coming future. For that reason, I'm just going a little back to Dr. Poonam Tiwari's question, if you don't mind. How can we empower women through learning? Now, my question would be, what kind of life skill do you need to really give to men so that they can accept women's role in the society and clear the path of empowerment? So that's where community learning comes into picture. It's not about training women in life skill. It's about training the community that has both men and women in life skills. I think that's something which is very, very important. Coming to spiritualism and all that, I think yes, we need to redefine employability to kind of see what kind of spirituality really we are looking for. And also, I think the spiritualism changes from one context to another. Sometimes it's about finding peace, but if I really look at the resource distribution among poor and rich in the world, I would say today's spiritualism should just highlight one point. Sorry, that is, I'm not going to take more than what makes me satisfied. So I just to I always say this when somebody asks me that how do we develop curriculum. I say always say that Buddha has demonstrated it. He traveled, he found out what his position in the society, his coordinates, his surrounding, what's happening in the society. That's the first step of education, so that I know where I am and how far I have to go. Then I introspect, I attain enlightenment, saying that okay, this is what my capability is, and this is where I can serve other people, the society, or even go for a job. Then we come to something called Dhamma, which is basically practice, practice, and practice. And then finally, you come to Sangha, which is organization, which is again building the community from your learning. I think this is the biggest spirituality in education system that should be kind of imbibed into. In first, can the learner pinpoint his or her coordinates where they are and how far they have to go? There was a social media cartoon that was doing round about a year back, that some examiner is asking an elephant, a monkey, a fish, and a bird, saying, climb this tree. That's your examination. Now, the moment we start saying that no, the learner's coordinates are here, we will stop even that kind of a standardized examination system. We'll come to a diagnostic system. So that's, I think, is the biggest spirituality that we need to know. We need to know ourselves, what our capabilities are, what our weaknesses, and what can we share with others. So today's context, I think I would say this is the biggest spirituality that is required for employability. Yeah. Right.
Thank you very much, Professor Kuntal De. And we are already at the end of the webinar. So, Professor Nazrul Islam, sir, are you connected? So we can just listen to you a few words if you have something to say on these issues in 1 or 2 minutes. I think he may be away. Okay, so thank you very much to all the participants and panelists, especially the keynote speaker, Professor Sharoj Sharma. The other speakers, including Dr. Nazrul Islam, Dr. Manas Panigrahi, and Professor Kuntal De. So you covered a lot of issues, and it is a kind of unique type of discussion what I found, especially focusing on life skills and value education. in 21st century skills. So I must thank all the speakers and the participants once again. And I'm very much thankful to Chanchalji, Mr. Chanchal. He coordinated the whole process for last 15 days. He was just several times he talked to me and tried to uh, 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 write me in arranging this kind of webinar and connecting with these speakers, and it was really helpful, and he smartly did it, and it made my work very easy to arrange this kind of international workshops. This is kind of a very widely circulated workshop and webinar, so that's why his support was highly needed from the beginning, and he did it. He successfully did it. And also I must be thankful to Nabin Bhatia. So he, for his technical support and arranging all these things so smoothly. Today, this program is live on YouTube, and this webinar was totally uninterrupted. So it is a excellent skill he extended to this kind of arrangement. So again, thanks Navinji for this kind of support. And I must mention that the we got Professor Sharma in this kind of open business talk. It is a kind of unique opportunity for Bangladesh Open University. So we must be thankful to you from the School of Business and Bangladesh Open University for accepting this kind of invitation. And also we are thankful to Dr. Nazrul Islam, Dr. Manash, and Professor Kuntalde for accepting this kind of invitation and for this important talk. I hope that we will get you in near future in this kind of arrangement of the open under the open business talk arranged by School of Business and Bangladesh Open University. We are looking for a lot of more collaboration with National Institute for Open Schooling. It will benefit both the side Bangladesh Open University and of course NEOS, because we got a long-standing relationship, and we learn from each other. I think under the leadership of Professor Sharad Sharma, this kind of bondage will be strengthened more, and we will be connected in this kind of discussions, so that all the colleagues from Bangladesh, India, and other areas will be benefited. So
Yeah.
thanks again for yeah. So if Professor Sharad Sharma, Madam, if you have something to say, so we will close this session by your talks.
Looking forward, sir, for the further association in more constructive way. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Madam. So so by saying thanks to everybody once again, we are closing the sessions here. Thank you very much for your attentive participation.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor
Thank you
Kuntal.
very
Thank you,
much.
Dr. Manash.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.